It's Marcus K. Dowling, the Nashville Country Music Reporter at the Tennessean, and I'm here at night 3 of the 51st annual CMA Fest with someone who knows a lot about CMA Fest from going all the way back to the fanfare days to now. Terri Clark, what's going on?
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. How are you doing, Marcus?
I'm great. So here's the thing with you. You're a hyper-relevant artist right now. You're helping to usher a new superstar into the genre. You also have put out a duets album that features everybody who's relevant right now. So that makes you relevant right now. Mm-hmm. Talk to me about the power of having this moment in your career where you're joining alongside so many artists with so much momentum.
Oh gosh, wow! Everything you just said is it feels really it's humbling. I mean, you go along in your career and you have your hits and you tour and you build your fan base. Mm-hmm. And you work really hard and you keep your nose to the grindstone. But, there's usually a shelf life for most artists at radio. Right. And you hope that what you've done up until that point can sustain you and you can go out and still play for the rest of your life and find an audience somewhere to play for. So when this era of a person's career, and I'm lucky enough to have it, kind of comes along and we have a moment with an album that I'm really proud of, and I'm so grateful to have friends that were willing to come in and sing on these songs that changed my life, but also that they remember as a part of their childhood and growing up, and part of what country music represented to them as teenagers and kids that made them want to be a part of it. It's really special.
Absolutely. So I was asking Ashley about this last night. I'll ask you the same thing. The idea that country music is not so much right now about people writing songs and singing songs about family, but it's about the genre itself and the stars being familial with each other and creating a community that's based on all the things the families are built upon. If you could talk to me about that.
Well, it was evident at the Opry last night, when Lainey Wilson was inducted as an Opry member, and Garth and Trisha were there, and I was the first one to introduce her as on the Opry stage. It was just, and I'm celebrating 20 years as an Opry member last night at the same time, and getting the cake and all of that. It was just a really feel-good full circle moment, and I think we all felt it was a magic night. And that's the thing, and what Garth said to Lainey about this being a family she will be a part of her whole life. It's not just the Opry, but it is country music, and I feel more camaraderie and a kinship in our artist community now, and especially among women, than I have in a very, very long time. I not that we weren't that way before, but I feel like it's stronger now than it ever was before. There's always competition. If you don't have a competitive spirit, you're in the wrong business. But I do feel people supporting each other. And, I think maybe part of the spirit of that comes from the age of the collaboration. There are so many collaborations now.
Exactly.
Like, I never saw as many collaborations in the 90s as there are now. So once in a while there would be, but now it's just every other day there's a new duet coming out with somebody or collaboration. So I think that helps, bring people together, just getting them in the studio, creative aspects of it, and then they're friends for life and everybody's loving on everybody else.
Funny thing I want to ask you, you'll probably laugh, but it's true. Lainey's introducing country music right now to you and Winona. Like introducing the genre to you and Winona. Mm-hmm. In this weird way, it just feels timeless. If you could talk to me about that.
Wow. Yeah. I get that. It feels like that. And I know exactly what you're saying. Like, we pay attention to what's going on.
Right.
But you do get in your own groove. You get on the bus with your band and you play your hits every night. And sometimes you put blinders on about, and I think some of that can also be self-preservation, because you may not be the hot thing you used to be, and it's easier just to look away.
Right.
But when you get embraced by those hot things and you're like, wow, that person knows who I am. Well, I don't feel like I'm so on the outskirts of town anymore. And you feel like you want to just hitch a ride back in for a minute.
Exactly.
So it's like, and it feels good. It really does. And that the friendship I've built with Ashley for the last 5 years also, she was probably the first one that from this era of country music that actually, took me off guard and really surprised me at an after show thing, and said, I want to thank you for being such an inspiration to me when I was a kid. And I was just like, whoa, I didn't know who she was at that time. She'd just gotten signed.
Right.
And it feels, it's validating that we, aren't forgotten, or there's something we worked so hard at and dreamed. So we've dreamed as hard and worked as hard as anybody for what we got. So it's nice to know that it didn't fall on deaf ears.
Absolutely. Well, it's been Marcus K. Dowling, the Nashville Country Musical Part of the Tennessean, on night 3 of CMA Fest with Terri Clark. Thank you.
Thank you.